to start our today's lecture. In the last lecture, we discussed what is HCI, what are the different laws, the Hammond's law and the Fish law. We discussed there that how we can create an interactive user interface by following that rules. Today, what we are going to learn is different user interface rules, by following which we can design a good user interface. Now, let's get started. So, what is a user interface design? So, the UI design rules are different guidelines that helps the designers to create interface in such a way that can satisfy their user, that can help the user to use their application easily, that can help the user to without doing a lot of learning practice, they can use their application. The interface should be designed in such a way that any kind of user, whether with knowledge or whether with not knowledge, even an uneducated person can easily use their application with a bit of learning. Now, by considering these all terms and conditions in mind, the UI designers designs the interface. So now what we are going to see are the different rules which a user interface designer can follow to design an interface according to the user need. Now the first one is the flexible input and interaction method. So what is meant by flexible input? Input is anything that you feed in your systems to interact with that and get some output. Now, how your input is related to your user interface. Now, whenever you visit different application, if you want to interact with that application, like if you want to log in there, if you want to visit the different pages there, then you have to do some input, like you have to click somewhere, you have to press any key there. Now, as a designer, you have to keep in mind that you are providing multiple flexible input options to the user, like mouse, like gesture. Now, for input, for feeding the data into the computer or your mobile devices, there are multiple input methods. Like by voice, you can feed the input by touch screens. You can do that by mouse, by keyboard, by gestures. And there are also different input modes, like you can, some people can use a stylus to input their data. So your input should be flexible. Means it can be changed according to any environment and according to any user, right? For example, if the user has some disabilities, then you have to include a voice recognition feature for them. Then a gesture input feature should be there. What if a user is using your application through their mobile phones? Then you should include a touch option there, plus a keyboard option there. So you have to include all this option there so that the user can easily use your application. Okay, so this is meant by a flexible input. Means you are allowing the user to input the data by using different modes of input. Now, that was the flexible input. Then different interaction method. Now, what is interaction? Interaction means how you are going to communicate with that device or application. How you are going to use that application. Interaction, the interface is a bridge between a user and that application. Without different interaction method, you cannot use that application. Now, Again, repeating the interaction methods, how the interaction is possible. Just like I am interacting with you with my voice. Similarly, if you want to interact with the application, then you should learn some input methods or some input techniques to interact with your application. That can be by the voice, by the gestures, by the keyboard, by the touch, or by the mouse. So you have to allow the user to customize their input method according to their will or by the preferences or by their need. So whenever you visit different applications or different, you can say websites, there are different method of input there. Voice option is also there. And in your mobile phone, especially with a touch, there is also a keyboard or and with that there is also an option of gesturing. If you go to your mobile settings, there is also an option of gesture input by using your hand gesture or face gestures. You can input the data to your mobile interface. So for making a flexible universal UI design, you can use these all features in one application. And that will help to enhance your user experience. The second one is the clear and consistent design. Here, your layout, your navigation. Navigation, again repeating, I discussed in the last lecture, allows you to jump from one page to another page. And if it is a mobile screen, it allows you to jump from one screen to another screen. Just like here, this is called the navigation. If I click here on view, then I can go here on view. I can see different options available on view. And if I go there on review, then there are different options for review. Okay, this is the navigation. So, while designing the interface, you have to keep in mind that your navigation should be consistent. The user can easily go from one page to another page without any problem. Then your layout. Layout means the designing interface. Just like this is the layout. Let me show you this. This layout that is appear on this is called the layout. How your page is going to appear. This side scroll bar and this page scroll, this is the layout. Like some of your navigation is on the top, then we have a side scroll where we have some of the elements of this software, this, and then the main content is displayed on the 75% of viewport. What is viewport? Viewport is the screen that is visible, that is mainly visible to the user. That is our viewport. Now, your layout should be built in such a way that your user can easily navigate it, can easily find the content there. Now, mostly when we visit different applications, we see that the navigation is always on the top and the main content is between the center and there is a footer at the end. So this is the main layout that is followed by different applications. Now there are also different kind of layout. I show you the example later, called the Z pattern, called the F pattern. We see that in the next section. Now, you can use standard UI components. Just like what are different UI components, just let me explain. Just like this. The first one is the header. First, you can design the header by your choice, where you can put your navigation. Then for a footer, you can build another component. For the main content, you create another component. So your component should be designed in such a way, means first you will individually design the components and then combine them together. So after that, your design should be responsive. So your design should be in such a way that the user can, whether it should be fit on each and every device screen. On each and every screen size, your content should be fit there. Whether it's your text size, your contrast, or your display setting. So by using different tools to check the responsiveness of your design, if you want to check whether your application is responsive or not, you can just go to on your Chrome web browser, and by right clicking there, you can click on inspect, and there are multiple options to check the responsiveness of your application. So this is the main thing that you have to consider, that your design should be built in such a way that it should be responsive, so that any user can easily, whether they are viewing your content on mobile screens, whether they are viewing your content on different devices, so they can view your content easily. Now let me show you some examples first. This is how you can build your preview cards. These are all different examples of different uh, components. Now there is also an option of frequently asked questions there, that is called accordion component. There you can design. Now these are the different designs that follows the HCI rules, that follows the user interface rules to design according to the user need. So this is how you can build different components according to the need, and then we are going to add them in your interface. So there is also a tab component there. Whenever you click on tab or some button like this, so the screen is going to be visible there. So this is a tab component. They had shown with an example. When they click this, this content will be appear. When they click this, the content that is related to this will appear on the screen. Then we have, these are more examples of component. Then carousels means whenever the slider, when you click a right click, a new image will appear. When you left click, the another image will appear. So you can use such kind of components in your application to enhance the user experience. These are called the components. Then we have another component that is called the customer testimonials. Means the feedback that they get from different customers, they show to your application, so that they can interact the other user to gain the trust of the other user, that this is the very trusted side, and many customer also trusted that. So you can also put the rating option there like this. These are the different designs of customer testimonials. Then logos. You can see whenever you visit any application, at the end there are multiple logos there. Their customer logos with their co-working brands, means if they are in a collaborative business, then they will show their co-partners logos there, co-companies logos there at the end. So you can also show this to your user on your website. Then your in-feature logos means different website that helps that application or company to work together. You can also in feature them in your application in such a. Then also there is option of different steps. If it is a any startup website or any new software website, they will show you different steps how you can use them. So you can also, in such way, you can also mention them. So these are all the designs, uh, components. Then forms are also there. So you have to build the form and create the form in such a way that follows the HCI rules. So now the thing that we were discussing before was the visual hierarchy. Now what the visual hierarchy is, that to gain the user interest on a very important thing. Just like visual hierarchy here means, for example, you want the user to get start, to log in. So you highlight that text first. So you can see in each and every example, this sign up button is highlighted by the background color than the others. Because we want this to gain the user interaction and attention there. So visual hierarchy means to build the components in such a way that catches the user attention to perform some action. So, uh, here we try to play with user's mind. So, in this way, we can build a visual hierarchy. So, let me show you some more examples of that so you can get the better understanding of it. Now, I told you that there are different layouts that are used by different UI designers to build. Now, first of all, we will discuss some of the layouts. So, the most common layout that is mostly used is the assign. Means you can see the picture on the left like this, and the content is on the right side in this in the form of a grid. Then there can be a row pattern there, and then multiple patterns are followed by this. Then the second one is the Z pattern, the most famous one. The image will be on the left and the content will be on the right. Then the content will be on the right and the image will be on the left. So you can also observe that. Just go and visit different websites and applications. You can see that their layout will be built in such a way that on the left there can be the image and on the right there can be the content. So designers follows such kind of layouts. Then there is another pattern called the F pattern layout. Here you have all the images here on the left, and on the right we have this data. Now this is the visual hierarchy is also following there. For example, the designer of this application wants the user to first see this image. Then after that, he wants to go all the way here. So he designs the layout in such a way that it catches the things, catches the user attraction. Then we have the single column layout. When you visit different e-commerce website, then this sidebar layout is mostly used. Such kind of then there is also a multi-column or magazine. Whenever you visit any blog on Google, such kind of interfaces also followed by that. So that was the layout, and these are more components. Then according to the universal user interface designing rule, you should follow the multi-modal feedback and assistance. Now, what is mean by that? To gain the support of your user, you should provide the user the guidance, the tooltips, the help feature to assist the user to use that application. What if the new user don't know how to use your application? So what you are going to do is to provide an option of help. So you might notice whenever you visit different applications or website, there is an option of assistance. There is also a visual assistance there, or a help option is there. A guidebook is there that helps you to or guide you how you can use their application. So you can add such kind of features to enhance the user experience. Then the language and the content. Now, language is the main thing that you should take a note of that. Now, in different cultures, different language are spoken. And we all know that the English is used as the business language. The English language is called the business language. So you should consider the business language. Now, what if the users of your application don't know English? Now, what you are going to do? So you should provide a language translator option that will translate the content of your application into their respective languages. Now the question is how we are going to do that. So as a designer, it is not your problem to deal with that. After designing the interface, the design is given to the developers who are going to implement that. They can use different language APIs to integrate in your application to provide that language features to them. But as a designer, you should consider the language that how you are going to translate, how you are going to provide an option to translate your main language into their languages. Then the customization and personalization option. So let's take an example here. Whenever you use WhatsApp or any social media application, there is an option of customization or personalization. You can set the theme of your application by yourself. You can change the privacy settings. You can change the profiles. Whatever you want to do, you can do. So such kind of options you should provide to the user. According to their need, their preferences, they can change the settings of your application. So, according to UI interface rules, you should provide this customization option, and it is mostly provided in multiple applications. If it is any social media application, such options are provided. Now, the question is where we are going to provide. In what kind of applications we provide the customization option. Now, the application that involves the user interaction, like different social media applications are there, that involves a long-term user interaction, there you should provide this option. Not on every website there. You can notice that you might notice uh, on different static websites, there are two kind of websites. One is the dynamic and one is the static. That doesn't allow any user interaction is called the static one. So when you visit that static website, such kind of options are not available. But the dynamic one where they allows the user account setting multiples there they give such kind of option. So you have to consider that whether your customer is demanding for a static content or a dynamic, then you can provide this option according to them. Then the second one is the progressive disclosure and simplified interface. Now, the progressive disclosure means you allow the user to give priority to each and every functionality. Means you can start with the very needy feature, means what is the most needed feature for the user. You will highlight that first and then leave the rest for the later. And you will gradually reveal more advanced option one by one. So in this way, you can simplify your user design. Then the user testing and feedback. You can conduct usability testing with different users. Just like you can take a group of people and allow them to use your application to get the feedback. What the problem they are going to face. Sorry, for testing purpose, you can do that. And for feedback, you can provide an option of 5-star rating, a comment section there, so that the visitor of your application can leave a note for you, whether they really enjoy your application or what are different problems they are facing while using your application. Then the last one is the continuous improvement and iteration. Now, what that means is here, you get the feedback one by one. And then according to the complaints of the user, you keep on improving your design, your application. So that becomes an iterated application. In iteration, one after one, whenever you get the feedback, you made some changes there. So any questions you have, let me know. Okay then, so hope so it is clear.